See how long this video stays up online. For the first few minutes of this video, we're just going to refer to this as the pasta fence incident. This is an incident of
Pasta.
international renown that deserves a deep
Listen,
dive of
if
its
y'all
own.
got a weak stomach or you're not ready for the truth, you need to still watch this video. But be cautious. If you eating food or something like that, don't eat food for this video.
I've seen some really solid takes on the matter, like from Flesh Simulator, but I have yet to see a full deep dive into the topic done by anybody. And I suspect this is partially due because of the perception placed on it by the
I'm
mainstream
not gonna
media.
add a lot of commentary on this because I'm not gonna be getting overly emotional and yelling. I'm trying to get this video out. So somebody last video was like, "Oh, you ain't adding nothing on, you ain't adding nothing on." But when I pause it every second, you keep pausing it, you keep pausing it. Choose what you want. You know what I'm saying? Do you want me to watch it with y'all? Like, do you want me to intersect more? Like, give me actual things that I can do, like I can listen to, bro. Not just nitpicking.
In the federal disinformation campaign. And most people, even slightly internet inclined, probably understand that much of the narrative on this story is entirely made up to cover up the reality that is lying beneath it. First though, this is not a political attack. Politics is a psyop and I'm not here for it. That being said, let's get the necessary context
Thanks
out
for
of the
getting
way.
that
The
out
origin
the
of
way. Politics is a whole world stage. Bro, that's entertainment for these folks, bro. This shit is all world stage BS, bro. It doesn't affect nothing. Presidents don't affect nothing. They follow the rules. They're under corporations. Once you learn that America is ran by corporations, you're going to look at things differently, bro. You're going to look at the world differently. The church is a corporation ran to control people with dogma and morals, but that's a whole different conversation.
The email material used today is going to be from what is believed to be a Russian attack on John Podesta's email server.
And one
John
more
Podesta,
thing, since y'all saying I don't add enough on the context before we get into this video, bro, the professionals are the worst, most fucked up people. Yes, people be like, oh, bro, oh, it's some random people from overseas and this and that, or some people, the scums of the earth, the gang members and all them, they add on to this shit too. But them professionals, them doctors, them psychiatrists, them gymnasiasts, and whatever, the gynecologists
is an extremely powerful Washington, D.C. figure with close ties to the Clinton family and was essentially running Hillary Clinton's 2016 election campaign. Another important figure to know is his brother named Tony Podesta that owns the Podesta Group, one of the most influential lobbying firms in America. Lobbying being, you know, that cheeky little way that ultra-wealthy people can influence the entire fate of the nation and political decisions, aka bribery, but by a different name. And as we go on, we'll introduce the secondary characters in this narrative as they emerge, but it's important to recall that Hillary and Bill Clinton are implicated in this both by being close to the Podestas, but also via Hillary's appearances in the emails. That's the basics that one must understand in order to be prepared for everything coming next. And beware, this is a descent into madness, unlike anything you have ever seen, and the people implicated have shaped and are shaping your life as we speak in ways you could never imagine. And I'm going to do my best to avoid repeating what has been said 1,000 times, so stick with me because as these episodes continue and the deeper we go, you're going to hear things that you would have never thought were possible. Enter Edgar Madison Welch. In typical Patsy fashion, nearly no images exist of him on the entire internet, and I can confirm only a very small handful of photos that are attributed to him. Roughly the same amount of photos as you'd find candy in your hand after getting mugged on Halloween night, which is red flag number one for me because the prevailing narrative is that this is a fellow both chronically online and who has been lurking in quote-unquote right-leaning spaces since the birth of the internet. So like the rest of his generation, I would expect at least a couple dozen unique photos at minimum. Moreover, one of the few photos we do have of him in Lee Harvey Oswald fashion, another infamous patsy, Edgar is holding what seems to be the firearm he would later use in the Comet Ping Pong incident. I guess to make it more convenient for future news articles to write about him. Ostensibly though, in the eyes of mainstream media, Edgar Welch was a quote-unquote far-right internet lurker who became enthralled with the story being spun in 2016 about an elite ring operated to some extent by Kill and Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry, a writer's error there, don't worry, he's been fired. That Bill and Hillary Clinton were operating an invite-only child trafficking ring for the most powerful. And these emails hid the truth about that behind terms like cheese pizza, hot dog, lollipop, and all sorts of other things. And obviously such a ring has no precedent in history and is lunatic level conspiracy theory. Just ignore the past 100 years of information though. As the election creeps closer, the story grows from more niche online circles like 4chan to Facebook, where man, the boomers got involved and so did the bots, and this story got relayed to a huge portion of Facebook users that unknowingly ate this story hook, line, and sinker. And for a certain period, a robust portion of Americans believed to varying degrees that the Clintons were involved in a child trafficking ring. But it wasn't merely internet posts and bots forwarding these posts to various accounts with claims of such actions that caused a growing outrage. It was the fact that there is seemingly a mountain of evidence for these claims.
Yeah, it was
and this evidence was
based. This the thing, bro. People want to say this is how the government fools you. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Don't believe that, bro. There's mountains of evidence for this shit, like for the D4D situation. The police said he's not a suspect. Nigga, that doesn't mean there's not mountains loads of evidence still. Oh, we just supposed to forget about everything we seen now. Come on, bro.
Out of a cryptic and not so cryptic set of messages uncovered from John Podesta and fellow Hillary Clinton staffers, as well as other powerful connected political allies. These emails got out, as we discussed, when Jonathan Podesta's email was hacked. And the most alarming thing that were noticed were these references to satanic rituals, child trafficking, and other demonic activities. I mean that last part very literally, as you will see later on. In theory, there should be no such references found, or anything that can even be construed as references to such activities on anyone's email. But even more alarming is that it was found coming from a host of different people's devices who had previously been rumored to engage in such activities, as well as have a sordid past, which the Clintons are no stranger to, both officially and unofficially. Also, since we were in the midst of an election, when a bunch of people see Hillary and Hillary-related emails coming out of the blue, they are seeking to confirm whatever suspicions they initially may have had about her. So initially, a lot of people took this with a grain of salt. But what started changing minds were people noticed these bizarre food references in the emails, which not only were out of place, but clearly to many not discussing the food itself. Instead, millions believe and continue to believe that references to items such as hot dogs, pizza, and cheese pizza, and pasta were actually references to various kinds of children and child trafficking. It may sound far-fetched initially, but as we read through the emails and continue on with the story beyond that, which I've had bookmarked for a year waiting for this moment, you'll begin to understand exactly why so many people were and are suspicious of what was really going on here. The first email I think that is worth reading was written by a woman named Tamara Lozado. Most won't recognize that name. We will discuss her after the fact, and the email reads as follows. With enormous gratitude to Advanced Man Extraordinaire Haber, I am popping up again to share our excitement about the reprise of our gang's visit to the farm in Lovettsville. And I thought I'd share a couple more notes. We plan to heat the pool, so a swim is a possibility. Bonnie will be Uber service to transport.
Because even with that list situation, like people like, oh, well, this is happening to distract us from the list. Or this is happening to distract us from this. Like, bro, even if they showed you the list and everybody on it, that's nothing compared to what's going on a global scale, bro. The black market runs America. The black market runs America. The black market. The dark web.
Ruby, Emerson, and Maeve Lozado, 11, 9, and almost 7, so you'll have some further entertainment, and they'll be in that pool for sure. And with the forecast showing prospects of some sun in a cooler temp of lower 60s, I suggest you bring sweaters or whatever attire will enable us to use our outdoor table with a pergola overhead, so we dine al fresco, and ideally not al chillo. On its own, it's not the strangest email, although certainly odd, but it is weird enough to make you question, and it also seems to suggest that something more is going on. Specifically, the references, very specific ones I might add, to each of the children's ages, and that they will be in the pool for the adults' entertainment. This could be a strangely worded email, but something more seems to lie beneath the surface. What I have yet heard spoken about is who Tamara is, so I sought to find out, and immediately regretted what I saw and read. The first thing to understand about Tamara is that prior to becoming Hillary Clinton's chief of staff, the role which she served when these emails were sent, she was previously a member of Senator John D. Rockefeller's Senate office. Not the OG Rockefeller, but Rockefeller IV. If you don't—
Let me add one more thing too. Let me just let y'all know, for everybody that's in they feel, oh, look what they doing, this is so fucked up. Oh, they keep doing this. Oh, they keep doing this. I went down that rabbit hole of being angry and all that shit too. You can't do nothing about this shit. So you can't do nothing about this shit. Nothing. The most thing you can do is protect your family, your kids, and spread the message and change the thing you can do about it is change the frequency of what's going on and the people that you can reach. But NBA YoungBoy always gonna reach more minds. These celebrity trends always gonna reach more minds. The Chief Keef's always gonna reach more minds. The degeneracy is always gonna, the Bad Bunnies, that's always gonna reach more brain rot. Put them to sleep, entertainment, to get usurped. I'm making videos, a series right now on my TikTok about pimping and how I never respect pimping, being from California and shit like that, like them extorting women and shit. And it's a lot of women in the comments that they see what I'm saying. It's a lot of men in the comments like, I understand. You feel me? Got a lot of men in the comments, but it's a couple niggas on there. They like, oh yeah, you ain't from Oakland. Like, yeah, you a square. You a buster. I'm like, niggas like that, I will go to Civil War. Like, I will load up them chops and we could bump it out, bro. Like, Let's go to civil war. The only way to fix the hood, fix the trench, fix our communities is these niggas got to get wiped out. It's the same thing for these type of people. These doctors, these gynecologists, you walk into the doctor, it's a snake. Bro, it's all type of symbols on the wall. You don't be knowing what the fuck going on. It's a cult symbolism.
No, why that's weird. I don't have enough time to get into them right now, but the Rockefeller family are known for many things beyond Standard Oil, including mass murder, genocide, the destruction of modern medicine, and eugenics. They are truly an evil bunch. Besides the point, though, what's critical to understand is that Tamara eventually becomes his chief of staff and was Rockefeller's primary advisor on the National Commission on Children and the Pepper Commission on Healthcare. Well, there we go. An official government-level tie to children. But I find she is an interesting choice for such a position, considering the later emails we shall continue diving into, but also the history of her own children and grandchildren. Well, I should say before we hear about the children in the creepy emails about pools and quote-unquote entertainment, we actually end up seeing them on something called Evie's Crib first. This is a site I can only find archives of, but what it shows is plenty. This site I presume named after one of the children in some capacity, although the name Evelyn is not listed in the rest of the kids in that email. It houses obscene images of children and captions that belong nowhere. One such caption reads as follows: Evelyn is growing up. Soon she'll be the queen of the entire US of A. Right now, for a limited time only,
it's women out here that'll literally be like especially with our people, bruh. They really trust, like, mind you, I don't trust all skin and kin. I don't trust black folks. But I will never trust like white people, like off the jump. Anybody that's not me, you on the most highest alert of me not trusting you. Like my own people, I know it's like I don't trust them, but I know these niggas, like, you feel me? I know how much I can give you. But white folk, all these people that be smiling, keeping a good face. Did you see how this lady look? This lady looks like somebody you walk by in the grocery store, and she's owning a unit trafficking, bro. You see this lady and think, oh, well, she's just a nice old lady taking care of the kid. Oh, she's just a nice old lady. She an old witch, bro. These white women. A lot of these women, bro, they protect their husbands, bro. Why you think this shit keep going on, bro? But you don't think they, like, why don't they got no type of intuition, no type of nothing to, because they can't go against a system, bro. Then a lot of the times, the wife that's doing that shit, then got sanctioned in. It's no different than, I got a lot of things I see. That's why I don't like doing these type of videos.
Hear about the children in the creepy emails about pools and quote-unquote entertainment. We actually end up seeing them on something called Evie's Crib
I'm gonna get
first.
yellow
this is a site I can only find archives of, but what it shows is plenty. This site I presume named after one of the children in some capacity, although the name Evelyn is not listed in the rest of the kids in that email. It houses obscene images of children and captions that belong nowhere. One such caption reads as follows: Evelyn is growing up. Soon she'll be the queen of the entire US of A. Right now, for a limited time only, you can spend time with her online, raw and uncut. Take advantage of this now, as in the future, she will have the power of life and death. What a freaking weird thing to say. Definitely not a weird thing to say at all, referring to one's daughter as raw and uncut, presumably because she's a baby, or how you should take advantage of her now. Seems a bit odd to me. Intriguingly, like we said, Evelyn's name is not listed at the pool party. Take that as you may. On this site, though, there are a number of photos that should never be online of her young, what I presume to be grandchildren. But what's even more curious is a certain post. This comes from July 23rd, 2009, 7 years prior to the alleged shot fired at Comet Ping Pong, and 6 years prior to the pool email. Tamara Lozado writes, Evie will be joined in daycare by her buddy Jack. I wanted to give you guys a chance to meet Jack by going to his blog here. Jack is owned by Ken Weber and Stephanie Copeland. A lot wrong going on here, including who this buddy is, but that's after we address the fact that, as this ancient screen cap clearly denotes, Tamara refers to this child as being owned by his parents. Children do belong to their parents. That's one of the many reasons why the government, as we can tell, needs to stay away from them. However, owned implies a different meaning when placed into the context that is slowly forming here. So let's peep who Evelyn's new friend Jack is. And here is Jack in all his glory. But Cooper, you say it's blurred. Did you make a mistake? No, I didn't. I can't show you this picture because it's a completely nude infant laying with everything hanging out, genitals partially covered by a tiny blue maple leaf. I even went and found the page on an ancient site, and although there is something written on the leaf, I cannot tell what it says. The caption, though, I do believe says more than enough for us and reads as follows. This is posted into the subsection of Naked Time, of which there are two.
Sabotage his eyes just to give us this video. Shout out to Coop, man, because I know when people be doing these, like I remember Big Homie CC said this shit. He said when he was tracking down predators and shit like that, he had to like go through the photos and the images just to like see the houses and like get the IP location, see if they see a corner of a door or cabinet and shit like that. And I was just like, because he be doing the retrievals and shit. retrieving the people that got like kidnapped or been missing and shit like that. And yeah. Why do you think niggas why do you think niggas could do pred catch all day and run up a glitch? I'm about to start doing that type of content.
Bath time again this weekend, which Jack celebrated in high style by slipping into the baby bath hammock, thanks Sarah C, before reuniting with the frog towel. Jack luxuriated and exfoliated in a warm soak by the kitchen window. Unrated version of this photo available only to premium subscribers, period. Winky face. This caption on top of a nude photo of your infant, yeah, I'm not okay with that. And I think nude baby photos are weird, period. But if parents went to innocently take photos for a photo album they used to make fun of their kid 20 years later, and for the memes, I don't really care. But there is no acceptable excuse for how one takes such photos, uploads them to the internet, then suggests in a joking yet not joking manner that the uncovered baby nudes can be purchased. And evidently I'm not the only person who thought this or found this part of the rabbit hole, because there are posts up as recently as 2020 of people commenting how creepy this is, and then an anonymous user on this same thread, who I expect is Tamara, logged out of her account, saying that it's not weird, you're the weird one, don't make it weird. But what do I know, except that the woman writing thinly veiled emails, who's the chief of staff of Hillary Clinton, the broad implicated as being one of the ringleaders in this massive child slavery ring that we shall see later with DynCorp, which expands internationally, is posting in her free time photos of her naked children and offering to sell them unedited. A lot of dots, my friends, already, but as we shall see, this is merely the beginning. In fact, if you continue following this Tamara Lozado rabbit hole, you may find yourself going down a dark path, one that I refused to follow after a certain signpost, but right before stopping, I explored just a bit further and found certifiable family links for the Lozado family to Kabbalah, cannibalism, and explicit child pornographic imagery. These links are in fact so bad that the Internet Archive had to delete them from their site after they were saved by users going down this very same rabbit hole. The connections are actually really creepily direct between Lozado and these posts I'm going to read.
Yeah, and if y'all don't know, anything that was posted on the internet can be it could be re-brought up, like any websites, and like there's even stuff that was like pre-2010, anything, and ever since the internet had an inception, any website, anything that was ever made on the internet could be brought back up, unless the file was literally eradicated, like purposely, like by the fucking people that run this shit, like, because you know the internet started from the government. If y'all don't know that, the government started the internet. I know a lot of people don't even know that, but yes, and if, to be particular, the military.
I'm not going to get into them because I don't want to accidentally lead anybody to this weird corner of the internet, if I'm being honest. Fortunately, though, I did not click on any of the image links, but I did click on one of the text threads for that site, and it was a conversation on sadistic desires relating to children. Wow. And to show you the sort of people this Tamara woman is connected to, I'm going to read you one post from a single user whose profile picture included violent graphic imagery. This individual was discussing how they wanted to walk along the street, steal a woman off the street, take her back to their place, her, impregnate her, then 9 months later take the baby out of the womb, bit and side of it, and then shove that broken mess back into the whore. That last part being an exact quote. And this was the tame post on this website. Once again, I just want to add, you are the sum total of your friends and those who you are connected to. Continuing on, another email I would like to highlight is as follows. Mary and John, I think you should give notice when changing strategies which have been long in place. I immediately realized something was different by the shape of the box, and I contemplated who would be sending me something in the square-shaped box. Lo and behold, instead of pasta and wonderful sauces, it was a lovely, tempting assortment of cheeses. Yummy. I'm awaiting the return of my children and grandchildren from their holiday travels so that we can demolish them. Thank you so much. I hope you and the gang are well. I miss you both. Best wishes, Fro, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Herb. P.S. Do you think I'll do better playing dominoes on cheese than on pasta? This email is pretty self-explanatory for why it's weird. I will get into it though in a second, but I want to emphasize this email is written by a fellow named Herb Sandler of the Sandler Foundation, who according to appropriate understanding of grammar enjoys demolishing his grandchildren, and he just can't wait for them to get back in order to do so. Honestly, what is wrong with these people? Even if there's nothing else going on, you had to have read that back to yourself and thought what it sounded like, right?
No.
Like you would have thought that sounded bad and been, let me rewrite that. And additionally, the way the pasta is referenced is not really possible, because who ships pasta to their friends in a box? And very simply, I don't think that's how that would even work.
Yeah,
he's implying like almost a cardboard box, and he pops it open and goes, oh, there's cheese in here,
and
not
I
pasta.
guarantee you, He didn't get it. He ain't under no investigation. I guarantee you he lived. You know, this is what I be like. This is my main thing. Like, I understand karma. There's karma on the universe, but bro, why don't these niggas just randomly die? Like, why isn't nothing happening to them? That'd be my thing. These niggas living good. Ain't never seen a homeless night. Ain't never had a night without food. Ain't never starved. Ain't never lack for none. These niggas be living good. So miss me with that karma shit. And God just sitting there like this, watching all this shit happen. Y'all let me know who God is.
Like, what? But clearly, based on what he says, it's easy for us to see that pasta and wonderful sauces have been shipped to him previously in boxes. And what on earth could he possibly mean by a tempting assortment of cheeses, considering the fact that the previous sentence about pasta was clearly not talking about pasta, in my opinion. All in all, this adds up about as well as a crackhead doing math, but like we did with the Tamara situation, let's take a closer look at who this Herbert fellow is. And like most of the people in these emails, it doesn't take much looking, because Herbert is a pretty famous individual, founder of Golden West Financial along with his wife Marion, which was a savings company in California which allegedly sought to help boost poorer folks and help them build their wealth. Well, one thing came to another, and the company that started in the 1960s had become a behemoth by the early 2000s, with assets under management reaching $124.6 billion. What's funny about Herbert, though, and his desire to help poor people, is that in mid-2006, Herbert and Marion decided they wanted to retire, but not after spending about 3 decades stacking up mountains worth of mortgage-backed securities onto their spreadsheet. Securities which they then sold to larger banks and institutions. And if you know anything about the mortgage-backed security, outside of Jeffrey Epstein, it was one of the instrumental factors in the 2008 housing market crash that destroyed the American economy permanently. So Herbert and Marion aren't exactly the kind people they claim to be, desiring to help the poor. In fact, they are a huge portion of the economic troubles we have today, and why so many can't even afford to eat. And even SNL, which is about as backward as they come, understood this and did a bid on the couple on October 4th of 2008. In 2006, the couple retired, which is convenient considering it was just before the crisis. But upon retiring, they transferred $1.3 billion to their Sandler Foundation. And I presume this is now untaxed and completely shielded money from the outside world, which is why the wealthy do foundations. And on their website for the multi-billion-dollar Sandler Foundation, which Herbert and Marion began, we see that they have a section dedicated to the safety of children, which somehow I doubt, based on your desire to demolish your own grandchildren, Herb. And this was an email I forgot about and found while searching, and have basically seen no reporting on it whatsoever. And it's, in my opinion, one of the darkest and most apparent of all the emails in this case. And it reads as follows. Ari, you have a lollipop. Been meaning to thank you for being with me during my first...
Bro, we be blowing me. These niggas be getting the full human experience, bro. Like, these niggas in the trenches that died for no reason, getting shot by their own people. These niggas living 85 years minimum, going crazy. That shit over with these days. Y'all ain't gonna be able to live 100 years doing this shit.
Lollipop
too much
experience.
internet, nigga.
Appreciate your support and your steady presence. My only regret is that I didn't take my lollipop with me. Smile. Leia, has anyone notified you that you have a lollipop to be in the spin room at tonight's debate? Are you up for it? I'd be with you so you can tackle things not specific to the convention with you. First of all, lollipop in quotes, could you be more obvious? Second of all, lollipop is the word you choose. Anyone who reads this email knows they aren't talking about lollipops. It's dead obvious. So let me just read this description of what a lollipop is from the International Justice Mission. The word lollipop has a problem. I'm not referring to our addiction to sugary snacks, but something much darker, something more sinister. It's an unspoken epidemic that is facing our world and is destroying the lives of men, women, and children. Lollipop is a term sex offenders, predators, and used for victims of child pornography. Every 12 hours, 10,824 new images of child, also known as child images, are detected online. Every month, the Philippines receives more than 1,000 tips regarding the online exploitation of children. There is more details to this, including the lolly phenomenon and anime. There's all sorts of disgusting
service. Yo, bro. Do you know how many animes I had to stop watching? Do you know how many animes I had to stop watching? Because they start to make them shit. Sometimes the animes don't even, like, it'd be a good ass series. They don't even start freaked out. And for some reason, this shit it just start going left. On the animes. Like, even everybody loves One Piece, right? Nigga, Namni is not 18. Namni like 16 on that show. But they make her titties look like that. But it didn't start like that. When you first watch One Piece, it's just a normal anime show. They all like friends, camaraderie, and as the show go on, is I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, bro, I might want to watch this shit. I'm trying to eat, nigga. I want to see niggas get their ass whooped. I want to see you find them poneglyphs. Like, but it be them niggas that be the fans. Beard, Monster Dew, Dorito chips in their beard. Can you make her have big tits? Can you make her, oh my God, make her voice sound more squeaky? You have to, or we're not gonna buy your manga no more. That's why I love anime. I hate anime niggas. I love fashion. I hate fashion niggas. Like, cause they just, niggas be taking this. I love hip hop. I hate drill rap. Certain type of hip hop niggas. Cause niggas be taking this shit too damn far.
You can go down there, but lollipop is one of the most obvious terms for children ever. And in the email, they're clearly not referring to lollipops.
Yeah,
so
that's too
what's
obvious.
going on? And let's be honest with ourselves here. The answer is pretty obvious. The next email worth looking at is stupidly transparent to the point this email can only be taken literally, or it's a complete misunderstanding. There is no code to misread and nothing cryptic about it. Last night was fun. Still in torture chamber. Another question. Do you want to have Feb 14 Valentine's Day dinner sent from my iPad? Now, you may be confused for a second why Podesta is emailing himself. Well, in reality, in relation to the suspicious emails, this is where we get introduced to Tony Podesta from. And it's Tony who's emailing John Podesta in this case. Now, Tony is a rabbit hole in and of himself, and he could be an entire video, but something worth noting about him is that in 2017, his massive lobbying firm that he began, he was forced to step down from because of investigations by the FBI. Good to know going into what we're going to be discussing next. The Podesta brothers combined are a power couple, influencing politics as a whole, but especially leftist politics and political thought. And many people take this email literally and assume he is referring to a child in a literal torture chamber, which is possible and also possibly untrue. But it's another side of Tony that really makes me and other people give credence to the thought that he could be talking about a very literal torture chamber at this moment. As what stands out about Fat Tony Podesta is his obsession and collection of disturbing art. Disturbing being an understatement. Much of it, in fact the mass majority of it, I'm not going to be able to show here because it's either porn or children. And it would completely...
Bro, what am I even looking at? Like, these people are so weird, bro. Like, it looked like something they use in a movie or something. Like, let's just say they use like a monster in a movie and they make it look super real. It's like they'll use the same set on Hollywood to scare them with the shit. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at. Like, what is that? That look like a bro, I don't even know what I'm looking at, bro.
Violate every term of service, so I'm gonna have to stick to the ones I can show you, and if there's something else, I'll just pull it up.
Weird monsters.
Indeed, there's so much art I can't show it all, let alone
yeah, do you
talk
see what
about
I mean?
each of them.
You see that shit in the back? That's like some type of fucking. That's them. That's maybe they species of beings. I'm so happy, bro. I'm so happy we in this generation, man. Cause I can go buy a chopper. I see why niggas buy choppers from the store after a certain amount of information. That's why I don't go down this rabbit hole no more. Cause you'll crash out. Go buy that AR, and that's why that nigga was outside that restaurant with that AR, nigga. And he's crazy. Nah, somebody gotta get popped. I'm willing to pop these niggas. Like, I'm willing to crash out. It's some niggas that's worthy crash outs, bro. Like, it's some niggas, if I see them, bro, I swear to God, like, if I'm gonna throw my life away, like, woo, if I could just catch some niggas and head tap them just for the land, just to set the message straight, like, damn, he head tap fucking Fossey. Damn. Like, it's certain niggas I'm backing out, bro. Allegedly, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna do nothing to nobody, but I'm definitely gonna be like, hey, you did that. You did, that's you. But there's a lot of valid crash outs that's really worth it, bro. And the reason why I'm not gonna tap out, head tap somebody, because it ain't gonna spark nothing. Niggas just gonna be like, damn, you head tap them and talk about me and make a bag while I get cooked in jail and shit.
I'm just gonna have them circulating on screen for you to admire, which seems like a bad word in this context. All right, so first one, anyone in their right mind, the red flag should be waving right now. Yeah. What is that thing?
Demon.
It's literally, it's grabbing a child and touching its butt. And If there's anything that's made me lose faith in mankind, it's that there are people online who describe this as amazing, beautiful, and evoking a powerful response. And those people I refuse to believe are alive, and instead I just want to assume for our sake that they're just bots. But sure, I don't know, because some people actually think that this is art. This next piece we only know exists because of a picture of Tony Podesta's stairwell, and you can see in the distance a child wearing a diaper being lifted up by a man pretty harshly based on how much squeezing is going on. This next one, with Fat Tony in the background, many presume to be based off of the death pose of one of Dahmer's victims. Dahmer enjoyed putting his victims in what he referred to as funny or cool poses. The other angles of this statue also show that it has been decapitated, and I would be hard-pressed to be convinced the making of this statue had nothing to do with the Dahmer pose, considering they matched down to the physique. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show the image of the Dahmer victim, but I'll show as much as I can. Also, Fat Tony smiling like he won the Little League Championship with the corpse art of a Dahmer victim in front of him, that is peak evil. This next one, which is just a woman lying
down. Y'all be wanting to move. Y'all want, bro, when I get a bag, I want to move to the suburbs and live by these niggas. That's why people be like, the suburbs is weird when you move out there. Yeah. I want to be right in the, I want to live where, I'm going to make sure I live in a neighborhood of self-made internet millionaires and shit like that. Like niggas who got rich off crypto and shit. Like I don't want to live to nobody with old money, none of that. Because you niggas, you don't know what they done did, bruh. Jay-Z was standing over the body cake. But look, this is going to be part 1. If y'all want part 2 to this video, well, y'all getting part 2, but I'm going to have it in a couple days. Just leave a comment, though, and just support. I'm going to drop it anyway. Part 2 is going to come anyway, but just support. You know what I'm saying? Bruh.